How's it going, y'all? It's Cello with Third Coast Fishing. Unfortunately for this video, I somehow accidentally muted my GoPro 11 because I just bought a new audio mod for it and something happened to where it muted, and I did a whole bunch of testing to make sure it doesn't happen again, but unfortunately for this video, I'm not going to have any audio. So I'm going to do a little bit of commentating over the fishing trip and just cram the fishing trip really small so it won't take up too much of your time since there's no audio again. But I did want to go ahead and edit the video and just kind of show what was going on, because I did have some action out there and I had to keep her towards the end of the video. And well, hope you guys like it regardless. And yeah, but anyways, I hope you guys like this video. I'm gonna make it real short and sweet for you guys, and hopefully I won't have this audio issue ever again. But yeah, enjoy. Alright, so here I'm just jigging it off the ground, and right here I feel him. Went ahead and started to reel him in, and kind of already hooked him a little bit, so I didn't want to yank it out of his mouth because they have very thin paper mouth, so it's easy to overhook set and tear it out their mouth right away. So I was gonna be careful with trout. So yeah, I pull him in. This guy here looks, I was thinking he was gonna be close. I think he ended up being like 12 or 13 inches, but beautiful speckled trout, you know, very nice looking. I mean, you can see he chunked it. It was deep in his throat. I managed to take it out, threw him back in, went to the same spot and caught another trout. I mean, I felt him right. It was pretty much 10 yards from the last trout. So I knew they were there in that drain. This guy, same thing. Not a keeper size, but it was still pretty fun. And yeah, you could see the jig right out of his mouth. I'm using the black and gold paddle tail to get the job done here. It's about 3.5 inches. And right here you can see I'm kind of testing my drag out because my drag was kind of too loose on that last hook set and I almost lost the fish. So yeah, be careful with that. You know, make sure your drag is not too loose and not too tight for the fish you're trying to catch. So I tightened it up there right away. I hook set and fish is coming in. I'm thinking it's a trout by the way it was feeling. And because I've been catching trout back to back on the strain, so you know. But then he's starting to swim a little bit more towards the deeper end, so I mean my guess was the red and I ended up being right. But check this out. If you just take a second to look. My last video I caught a redfish that had 4 dots on both sides of his body. And when I picked this guy up, I mean look at it. 4 dots on one side of the body, and in the video I'm kind of like bamboozled over this. I'm like, heck, what's going on? Is it the same fish? And honestly, it can't be a coincidence. It was very rare for fish to have 4 dots already, much less 4 on each side. So I'm thinking it's the same fish I caught last time, and it's kind of crazy because you almost never catch the same fish twice. And here you can see this little jellyfish I found very intriguing. And he was there was a lot of them out there, man. He wasn't the first one, but he was the first one that was close enough for me to get some footage and just gave him a little light tap on the top, you know, then left him alone. And here you can see all these blow-ups going on. I went to the back lakes, and all those blow-ups are really small croaker. But there was this one redfish that blew up by the grass, and I'm trying to catch his attention. I couldn't have my eyes on it, but I've been chasing him for like 10 minutes along the grass lines, and he's kind of deep in the grass. And then you can't hear it. I'm sorry for that, but I start hearing grass getting messed with towards that point on the right side, and I started saying, you know what? Let me cast it here on the right side, see if I can catch his attention. So you can see where I dropped that first lure, started swimming it, and I was like, no, well, didn't catch his attention there, but I knew that the splash was around there. It was a big splash, not a croaker splash. You could tell the difference, you know. This is very shallow water. It's probably like 1 foot in depth, you know, or a little bit less. So I try my look again. So this time I'm reeling, and he started coming off the grass. Next thing you know, man, I hook set it right there. Boom, got him in. Knew right away it was a redfish because of how heavy it was. And I'm fighting him, and he's right here. He realizes that he's hooked, and he's fighting for his life right here. And I'm trying to catch him in, and I'm excited. And man, all that patience and hard work paid off. Just kind of follow him. I follow him probably a good 20 yards up about the grass line, and finally I cornered him right there where I'm pointing at, and he's just fighting and giving me a hard time. And I'm just scared at this point, guys. When it gets this sketchy, I'm not sure my hook is nicely set, but he's pulling drag and really rough. I mean, this is a mid slot redfish, you know. And I'm just fighting him. He's trying to get under my kayak. I'm nervous of it bending my rod over or snapping my rod or getting tangled up in the kayak while I'm reeling him in. And I'm trying to be very careful with him. And he's pulling drag. So, I mean, I'm having to constantly fight him. And here, yeah, he finally calmed down a little bit. I'm able to finally secure him in the net. I'm being very gentle, very careful. I don't want to, spook him more than he already is this close to the boat. So I'm just kind of letting him do his thing, not being too aggressive with the net. Just slowly have the net on the water and trying to get him to swim towards it. And finally he gave up and pulled him right in there, pulled him up. And this fish here he is beautiful. He had this very pink pastel color towards him. So they typically go pink pastel or dark orange, mid orange. They have different colors for different seasons. And this guy here, look, when I put him up, you get to see it towards the sun. I try to do my best to kind of put a good image on him, but the top side is pretty pinkish. But yeah, he's a big boy. And it was a boy because he was croaking. If I had the audio again, you'd be able to hear him croak, and he had a very, very loud croak. Even after that big fight, he kept croaking on. So when they croak like that, it just says that it's a male. So here I'm measuring him just to see where he's at, and he's looking at 25.5 with a pinch tail. So 25.5 inches, which is obviously it's legal to keep. And I went ahead and put him on the stringer just to have some sweet protein in the freezer. He gave me a good fight. Went ahead and washed the measuring board, and then I switched spots. I go to a different side here, different side of the back legs, and look at this little mullet. It just acts so weird and awkward. Like he was just floating up, and he let me grab it. I thought he was dead, and then here he's gonna flip his tail when I put him on my lap. And then I was like, holy crap, he's still alive. So I put him back in, and then the weirdest thing happened. He swims away finally and goes deep in the water. I'm like, that was weird, right? He's acting dead. And here I'm casting. This is shallow water. I looked to my left for a quick second. Then right when I turned left, I felt that hook get bitten, and I set the hook right away. And sure enough, it was a redfish on. This guy here batting, man, he was fighting. He was a little rat red, but he was fighting like he was almost slaughtered. I almost thought he was right away because you could see how he yanked right away whenever he bit the hook, and he gave it a good tug. So here I reel him in. I'm still using the swim bait just to cover a whole bunch of ground, because at this point I'm just going back to the launch because I was getting ready to go home, and I was just casting on the way back to the launch, and you could cover a lot of water with using a swim bait. So that's what I was doing. Use that black and gold swim, and yeah, there he is, pretty fish. Here and this is why you always want to reel all the way up to the boat sometimes. So I'm reeling, nothing's happening, and literally right by the boat I get that bite, and I felt him. Big bite, and here you have a speckled trout. He's doing a whole bunch of commotion, jumping on top of the water, and he looks almost legal size. And this guy here, I feel so bad for this guy, because look, you can already see he's bleeding by the gill. I gut hooked the fish, and not just gut hooked him, but I got the hook in and out over the gill with his guts, and it was so weird. It was way in there, guys. I did my best. I tried. I really hate to gut hook them, because most of the time they don't make it, So I took the hook out. I managed to take the hook out. I left him on the water and he went belly up, and I'm just hoping that he actually did end up turning out and swimming out. Either that or he didn't make it, and that's just happens sometimes. I hate when it does happen, but it does happen. Every fisherman knows. We try our best to kind of keep him alive. He was right at 14 and a half inches. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you made it this far, man, I really appreciate you, grinding it out with this video with me here. I'm just having my outro. Thanking you guys. Please like, subscribe. If you haven't, comment, and I really do appreciate you guys. And again, I apologize for the audios in that video, and I will do my best for that to never happen again. But if you stuck around this long, I really do appreciate you. Thank you.